Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning, and this is just the beginning. I need a big change, help me feel like living. I need a big swing, home runs I'm hitting, and I'll never look back, moving on till I get it all. And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?
That is dope, man. That is dope. Hey, it's good to be back amongst the land of the people.
Glad to have you back, man. It's been way too long.
Yeah, it's definitely been way too long, man. It's way too long. Am I moderating this show, or are you moderating and I pick up next time? How we rolling this?
You know what, Jay? I'll moderate this show, and we'll have you come back fresh on Saturday. Like I said, we'll ease you back into this. It's been a while, you know. Sounds good.
Much appreciated. Let's roll.
All right, let's get it going, fellas. Once again, welcome to episode 344, Jay. We're closing in on a whole 365. We're going to get there pretty soon. Excited for it, of Unscripted, of course. Check us out. We are on pretty much every single social media. You can find us on Facebook, our main go-to hub over there, Unscripted. Twitter, Unscripted Guys. Then check out Unscripted Sports on the following: TikTok, YouTube, and then as of last week, Twitch. That's just their platform. Check us out on over there. Show us some love. Like I said, we go live Tuesday, Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, like we are right now. Saturdays, 1 o'clock. And, man, we have a lot to discuss. Like I said, we've been off for a little bit. Just got to get things back in order with Jay coming back on. Had to make it a big reveal. Jay, first off, man, how you doing today before we get into the topics? How have you been? How was the move? And how you feeling today?
Yeah, no, the move went as about as painless as you could imagine, going across a lot of states with a lot of stuff, settling back in, getting apartments, getting stuff, Melanie getting into her job, just all the craziness. But honestly, man, I survived it. My marriage is still alive, and I am going to see tomorrow as a better day. So life is good, man. If I could just get my Astros to be a little bit more consistent right now, I think it'd be better.
I feel you on that, man. Like I said, all of our teams looking pretty good. We got a lot of topics to talk about. We have back-to-back days, 2 sports have ended. Let's get right into it. Why not? Let's talk about the series between, unfortunately, our guy, Rob Streit, his Miami Heat, had a tough task, a daunting task even, Jay, going up against the number 1 seed in the West, 2-time MVP, probably should have been 3-time. But Nikola Jokic, Jimmy Butler went at it, dueled in a should have been best 7, best of 5 in this one. Nuggets got the win, Game 5, first championship in franchise history. Let's do a series recap. Obviously, we know they won Game 5 by a pretty good margin. But just talk about the series in whole. And then obviously we know with Jokic winning the Finals MVP award.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, Jimmy Butler, man, mad props. Second number 8 seed team in NBA history. To even get to the finals, number 1 is amazing. Number 2, I think is it almost time to start maybe get him into the superstar category and out of the star category? I'm not 100% there yet, but I will tell you, I'm starting to, after what I saw going through the Celtics series, what I saw in this series, I love his fight. I love his drive. I love everything he's doing. And I think if he gets one more superstar to pair alongside him, I mean, this could very well be an NBA championship caliber team, especially with the coach like Eric Spoelstra leading the way from that part. In terms of this series, man, look, I told you since day one, Joker's the man. If you don't think that Joker's not the man at this point, I don't know what NBA you're watching. The guy is like literally a career triple-double. I think the only thing he's lacking right now is on the assist side for the career. And I mean a career. So he's like right at about 6 assists for a career average. But if you look at last year's season, I mean, he was a triple-double. But for the career, to be an almost career triple-double guy, to finally get over the hump is just amazing. This Denver Nuggets team, they didn't quit. They had a few rough patches in this specific series. But as you can see, the 4-1 was complete domination of the Miami Heat, man. Murray, Porter Jr. I mean, these are names that, that have finally, did what they were supposed to do. Murray, was just flat out phenomenal. And I think, when we look at previous years, Logan, where, it was Joker and that was and a bunch of role players, and you saw how far he got them. And then you see when he actually had the full accoutrement of what he was supposed to have had. Now you see what he really has. And I'll tell you, I don't think this is the only NBA title that this man's going to get with this team. I think there's some other ones coming down the pipe.
No, you're not wrong. Of course, we got our boy Anthony Price chiming in saying the Heat was outman playing small ball, not always a good look. And to be fair, Jay, Adebayo, right? He wasn't a stick in the mud. He had some good performances, but man, it was just I think a little bit too much with Denver. They had all the right pieces. Everyone was hitting shots. But also, I think a guy you forgot to mention who had a great series was Aaron Gordon, a guy who Pride had said is kind of a forgotten player, forgotten kind of a star, because we know how popular he was in Orlando. Then he came over to Denver, became more of a role player, kind of like that Chris Bosh back then, what he did with the Heat. Coincidentally, took a lesser role, but still knew what to do, and it got him a championship. But, I mean, you got him. You got guys like Bruce Brown who were putting in work. And, man, it was just they were the right team. It was the right team at the right time. And Denver and Jokic, we're going to talk about in just a second. More specifically, it was just their time to shine, man. And they look great doing it. And, man, they've been celebrating like crazy in Denver. I know Jokic wants to go home back to Serbia. But, man, it's been a fun time.
It really has, and Billy, man, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate
you. Glad to see you back, Billy. Also, God, Damien, man, breaking news, unfortunate news, Jay, killing the vibe a little bit, but prayers for Ray Lewis and his family. He just lost his son at 28 years old. Oh my gosh, that's
mad prayers for him, because that's way too young to leave this earth,
yes,
man.
Yes, it is. Like I said, man, hopefully Ray and his family can get through this is head hold high as much as I can and come out greater pastures. But, man, just tragic there. Anthony Price getting back on topic here. Why Aaron Gordon and Porter Jr. was going off because small people was guard. Yeah, I mean.
It's true, though. It's true.
Miami had a smaller lineup and just every ounce of the word. But and Jay, I brought this up to Pride, and he didn't think it'd be much of a factor. But but do you think if Tyler Hero did come back earlier, do you think they maybe would have taken another game? Because I don't think I'm not going to go out there and say they would have won it, but I think they would have made like a 6 or even a 7-game series.
I mean, could they have gotten 2? Could have gone 4-2 and took it to 6 games? That's probably about as far as I would take it with Tyler Hero. This team was just too much. It was just and Hero wasn't going to be enough. The interesting thing about this, if you look at it from a historical standpoint, there's only like 4, I believe, original ABA teams that are left in the league. And only 2 of the ABA teams have actually won the title. The first one was the San Antonio Spurs. Now you got the Denver Nuggets being the second team. The other 2 ABA teams that are still left in the league are the Pacers and the Nets. So, I mean, you're looking at a lot of history here. Like I said, the ABA, I mean, God rest them, they're obviously no longer around. But so this was the second ABA team to actually win the title. But going back to that, man, Miami they were suffering. Like he said, small ball versus big ball, and they just couldn't handle it. And especially when they got big guys that can move like guards.
Yeah, I'm not saying Jokic is in a territory of his own, Jen. I think that's a perfect segue into our next topic here. Actually, let's talk about this because Damien just put this one in. With Miami losing the finals again, is it time for Spoelstra to be on the hot seat? I don't think so. Jay. I think they'll keep him as long as he wants to be there.
Oh, Spoelstra's not on the hot seat.
No,
Trust me, he took a number 8 seed team and put him in the finals. Trust me, he's not on the hot seat.
He's been there since what I believe 2008, 2009, give or take.
Around 08 or 09.
I'm saying obviously you got those teams with LeBron got those championships. In 20, he got them to a championship run, and then this past year another championship run. I mean, he's a very good head coach, and he's put his time in. I don't think that he needs to be on the hot seat. I mean, it wouldn't make sense. If he maybe had gotten eliminated in the first round or something, maybe then, but even that's kind of a stretch, I believe. But like you said, to will a number 8 seed all the way to a finals appearance is still pretty impressive. And Anthony said they beat Boston. That was coaching. Yeah,
absolutely. Having your team ready.
On paper, Boston should have they should have wiped the floor with them. But better coaching and it's really that experience that we talked about with Pride in specific is the lack of coaching at Boston, which happened last year too. Just that lack of experience. That Spoelstra has been around the league for 15 years, give or take, who's seen a lot and done a lot and knows how to make in-game adjustments. With the best of them. That was what did it in that series.
Yeah, absolutely. The last thing I wanted to say to wrap up this topic was the 3 things that I thought really hurt Miami was obviously turnovers. Second was fouls, 21-13. And then obviously field goal percentage, right? Denver was shooting right at 45 and Miami was shooting right at 34. So, I mean, that to me, that's huge. When you're creating those kinds of turnovers, and obviously the last one I'll point out was points in the paint. And the points in the paint was, I think it was like 60. I want to say it was like 61-44 points in the paint in favor of Denver. And that's again, the biggest problem of Miami is they had nobody that could, do the damage down low. I mean, Adebayo, no offense, Adebayo, but you're like
that guy.
He's weak down low, man. People push him around. He's not strong. He's and that really is the biggest weakness of Miami is the lack of a big man center. And I think if they would have had a big man center, I think he probably would have seen a little bit different outcome again in this series specifically.
Well, shoulda, woulda, coulda, Jay. And that's what Miami's been saying. That's what they're going to keep saying the rest of this offseason. But I told my father, Jay, I told him the day after the finals ended, it's time for the fun part now that all this basketball games are over. It's time for the fun part, Jay, and that's the free agency rumors and speculation running rampant. So we will, of course, be covering all that here in the meantime. But, Jay, talking about Nikola Jokic, where are we putting him among the greats? I've seen people say he's better than Dirk. He's better than Duncan, better than Hakeem, than all the big names you think of. Where are we putting him among the greats? Obviously, a 2-time MVP, now has a championship and a finals MVP, along with posting a triple-double, so many triple-doubles, I've lost count. So where are we putting him at?
Yeah, first, I just want to caveat Anthony Price. He said she would move Bam to forward and get it. I absolutely agree with that.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, he's just not the kind of guy. I need a monster down low. I need a monster down low that can guard the paint and not get pushed around. And if you can find the guy that won't get pushed around, that's what I need down low. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I would say put Bam over to forward and then go find your next big man.
And then Damien's suggesting if they need to cut Kyle Lowry and Udon. Well, Haslam's retiring. But Lowry, they'll probably cut bait with him if I had to guess.
The sad thing, he was actually one of the guys off the bench that's actually producing.
I'm about to tell you, he was one of the guys that was helping y'all. But hey, I get they might want to just kind of retool and figure out mostly I would say their bench. This off season. But back on point here, Jay. Where are we putting Jokic?
Yeah. So first of all, let me just say how incredible the drafting process is. Michael Jordan was passed over for Sam Bowie. Mm-hmm. Portland, how crazy was that? Yeah. And of course, where Jordan ultimately wound up doing. Kobe Bryant, was traded, drafted low. Now you see where Kobe wound up being. And then you look at a guy like Joker, who was drafted at 41. Like, look at all the people that passed over on this guy, and look where he's at now. I mean,
he was drafted during the Taco Bell commercial. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just insane to me. But, here's the thing. When I look at Joker, man, let's just do, he hasn't been in the league that long, truthfully. He's been maybe, I think about 7-8 years now?
Yeah.
He's I think he would be like 28. I mean, he's young still.
Yeah, let me get that pulled up for you, and I'll let you know. But you can keep going.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so but in all, he's got what, back-to-back NBA MVPs. Let's be honest.
He should have won 3. Let's be
exactly. If we're truly being honest and real with ourselves, it should be. He should have his 3rd NBA MVP, and as well as the Finals MVP. We all know that. Mm-hmm. We all know that. And the knockup was, he didn't have a title. If he just had a title, well, now he's got a title. Not only does he have the title, but he was averaging a triple-double the whole way to get the title.
Yeah. So, Jay,
think about that.
He is age 27. He's been in the league since 2015-16. And, yeah, so that is his age.
And here's the deal. Here's the deal, right? And Damian says he should be a top 5. I'm not going to give him top 5 just yet. He still has a little bit more of a career to go. But is he trending in that direction? Absolutely, he's trending to be in the top 5.
Now, would you say top 10? Top 10 with ease?
I say he's in the top 10 for sure.
Yeah, top 10 easily.
Okay, so let's look at some history. I already told you that Denver was the second ABA team to make it or to win it in the finals, right? Second one. San Antonio's first, they're the second. He is the first player in NBA history to lead the league in points at 600, rebounds at 269, and assists at 190 in a single postseason.
Yep. And first off, Jay, before you continue, let's add our boy Gonzo, Chris Gonzalez. Welcome to the show, my friend. How you been?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Doing well.
I'll tell you how it's going. Remember that Geico commercial? Is it Geico, the one where it says, I just saved $163 on my insurance? Gonzo just saved me $120 on my cable bill. That's how it's going.
Hey, he's feeling good. And Jay, just to look at this, I'm looking at some stats also with Jokic. To bounce off your point, I'll get back to you. So Jokic's career averages, this is just in the regular season, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 55% from the field. Also 34% from 3, which we haven't seen from a whole lot of other big men that we talked about. Jay, he is the first player in NBA history to lead all players in points, rebounds, and assists for the entire postseason. And he's also the first player with 10 triple doubles in a single postseason. So that's the run he was on. Yeah. Go back to your point, please.
The only thing I'm trying to say is, when you look at Shaq, if you want to say who is the best traditional center, hands down, it's Shaquille O'Neal. Fair. Hands down, traditional center. I mean, he changed the game, right? That's where the hack of Shaq came, right? I mean, people were having to conform the way they played their game specifically to him. Yeah. That just shows you how good he was at the traditional center spot. When I look at somebody like Joker, or I look at somebody like Hakeem Olajuwon, these are hybrids. They're hybrids, right? They can go down low in the paint, or they can take you up on the arc. There's just no limit to their game, right? You can't take Shaquille O'Neal and put Shaquille O'Neal on the three-point arc because they're going to look at you like you're crazy. The man can't even make a free throw. So let's just keep that for – when we talk about traditional centers, Shaq's the guy.
Yep.
But you got to think that Olajuwon probably was the trendsetter for what Joker is now, right? So Olajuwon started that whole hybrid center thing, and then Joker just took that, what Hakeem Olajuwon did, and he just took it to a whole nother level.
You're not wrong. And then Anthony Price saying Jokic already a first round. Yeah, that's without question. I think we already all agree with that. But Chris, I want to get your take on this. Give us a quick recap what you thought of the finals ending, since that's relevant, and also where are you going to put Jokic in terms of your all-time great big men?
As far as the finals go, they went about like I expected. I had said Nuggets in 6, but after watching the first few games, I had a feeling it could be in 5, especially after Denver went to Miami and won 2 games in a row. I didn't think Miami was going to have Miami actually played better in Game 5 than I thought they would. I didn't think Game 5 would really be that close, and that ended up coming down to the end. But no, I thought it was a good series, but it showed I think it finally showed everybody that Denver was a better defensive team than what we gave them credit for throughout the whole season. Because if you look through the playoffs, they played good defense that whole playoffs. Not just, I mean, especially in the finals, but not even against the Lakers, they played pretty good defense. But in the finals, the whole team's hold Miami under 100 points. What? I think 4 out of the 5 games, if I remember correctly. I mean, I don't think we talk enough about that. And everybody always talks about Jokic isn't. Yeah, he's a great player, but he's weak on defense. He might not be the best defensive player, but I think he proved in these playoffs.
I'm about to say he can put up some numbers.
He can play some defense.
And that's the thing with defense, though, Chris. It's about effort. You know, it really is about how much effort you want to put into it. I mean, we saw Carmelo Anthony, one of the best scorers in basketball history, didn't play a whole lot of defense. I mean, you know, we saw Kobe, tenacious defender. LeBron, when he wants to, can also be a really good defender. I mean, it's really just about effort. Okay, Billy, I hope you're joking here. He said Bill Laimbeer. Are you saying that Laimbeer is better than Jokic?
No, he's talking about just tough guys down low in the paint.
Okay,
that type of thing. He's not saying it better than Jokic, but I understood where he was going with the Laimbeer comment.
My mouse was over that hot take button real quick, so I was glad.
Hey, listen, hey, that would be a hot take.
And then Damien, Damien said, Jay, how can you not put Jokic in the top 5 when he's the only player other than Jamal Murray and Bruce Brown on that team that got the Nuggets to a championship? If Jokic was not on that team, we wouldn't be talking.
And again, I'm not denying that. That's why I felt like he should have been NBA MVP, and I've been saying that all along. So let's not look past that, but let's also not discount what the legends have done as well that are in that top 5. Okay, the body of work, right? The long body of work that those legends have done. You can't just throw a guy in there too quick. Okay, I just want to see that. I guarantee you, if he keeps doing what he's doing and keeps playing the way he's playing at the end of the scope of everything, we will be most likely talking about him in the top 5.
And joining the show, of course, our one of our favorite friends, the Unscripted cast and crew. We're all here now. Frankie the Yankee, welcome to our show. Frank, it's been a while. How you been, man?
I've been hanging in there, you know.
Yes, sir.
Living day by day with these crazy kids that I call my daughters.
Hey, look at my nieces. You talk well of them.
But I came back to formally welcome back Jay McLovin.
Yes. I'm about to say, Frankie, did you like the intro video I made for Jay?
I didn't see it.
Oh, Chris, did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it yet. I'll have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, when the show's over, I'll go back and check it out.
It was amazing.
I had a little Chris Jericho style reveal for Jay, so I think you'll enjoy it.
You don't need it.
Hey, I do something nice, man. Look, Anthony Price coming in saying Jokic is Bill Walton.
Wow.
I
don't know, man. That's almost disgraceful to Joker, man. Nothing against Bill, but come on.
So Frankie, since we're on the topic here, my friend, where are you putting Jokic among the greats? You putting him top 5, top 10? Where are you putting him on your list?
Oh man, as of right now in this league, in this day and era, he's got to be obviously top 5, probably even top 3.
Top 3. So who do you got in front of him then? I'm just curious.
I definitely got Giannis at number 1.
Okay,
yeah,
current day, yes.
Yeah, currently right now, Giannis at number 1 is a reckoning. And then at number 2, it's really hard for me to think at number. I have to put Joker at number 2. I'm not putting him at number 3, but I have to put him at number 2. And the only reason for that is because, you know, if Giannis was healthy in that first round against the Miami Heat, I don't think the Miami Heat would have surpassed Milwaukee. You know, he was gone for 2 games, and Miami got the jump on Milwaukee, and he didn't look like himself when he came back for Game 3. But at number 3, I'm gonna have to put Joel Embiid. I mean, you know, Joel Embiid he's a beast when he's healthy and when he's actually playing really well. The man is a dominant force, but he's not as dominant as Jokic. But if we're gonna say all time, I'm gonna have to put him up. I wouldn't put him up there with Shaq and all that stuff, like, you know, with what's his name, with Bill and everything like that. Like, I wouldn't put him up there with them. I'll put him with like Akeem Olajuwon, probably, like, you know, certain players I'll put him next to at the all-time great list.
Yeah.
But Bill Watson, man, like Jay said, put him next to Bill
Bill Walton,
Watson.
come on.
That's
Hey man,
that's
if he goes up
disrespectful.
against Bill Walton in any
Bill Watson.
Jokic is putting up 40 on him. I'm sorry, man. Come on.
Hey, Frankie, that's kind of where I got right now because of the short body of work.
I'm
I
about to say,
got
he's only playing
Joker.
for
I got Joker
6
around
years.
10 or 11. But I think if he continues to trend that way he's playing, I think he can easily work in the top five.
And
He continues to play at the high level.
Jay, he has at least another 5 years in him. He's only 27, I think, going into age 28. So he's still not even in his 30s. And so we'll see how long he can stick around the league for. But my God, we are all here for it. We're looking forward to see just how dominant he can continue to be in this era we're in right now. Let's go over to
Hey,
the ice.
can I say one last thing?
Yeah,
How crazy would it be if he's the first international player to crack the top 5 all time?
Ooh. In terms of just like all-time players, or are you talking about just...
I'm just saying when his career is done, and we go and we look at the top 75 players all time.
If he goes top 5.
If he is able to crack that top 5 at the end of his career, he'd be the first international guy, I think, that would do that.
I mean, if he keeps playing the way he is, then it's going to be that way. I mean, there ain't no doubt about it. Going over to hockey now. Of course, like I mentioned to Jay in the intro, back-to-back days, 2 sports ending. Going over to hockey, Vegas Golden Knights get the win over the Florida Panthers. Chris, I'm going to let you start things off. Your father, big Golden Knights fan. I know you tagged along with him. I want you to talk about this series and just the absolute whooping that Vegas put on them.
Yeah, I think it just came down to Vegas's depth in this series. I thought this game. I thought it would go. Actually, I said 7 games. I had Vegas in 7. I know Dad had said Vegas in 6. But honestly, Vegas could have ended up sweeping this series if it were other than that one game they lost, and they had chances to win that game. But I think it was just the depth. That Florida team, what they had done is remarkable to come from where they were to get to the finals. But their goalkeeper had been one of their strengths in the playoffs. And you got against Vegas, and all 4 lines for Vegas are so deep and can keep pressure on the goalie. I think they were just able to kind of crack him, get in his head a little bit. And then once they were able to score goals, and it kind of kept form with what Vegas had been doing throughout the playoffs. If they scored 3 goals in the game, they usually won. If they didn't get up to 3 goals, they would usually lose. And then that last game, to get up to 9 goals was just crazy. I know a couple of them came there at the end with no goalie, but in them first 2 periods, I think they already had 6. They just came out. It was a fun series to watch. I thought it was a real physical series, but I think it just came down to Vegas's depth on all 4 of their lines. They have so many different weapons that can score with Stone and Marchessault and them guys. So I thought it was a good series, and I think NHL moving to TNT and ESPN helped get a lot more eyeballs on hockey this year.
Yes,
absolutely.
I agree with the eyeballs. In terms of the coverage, I'm still iffy about that, though. If coverage is still kind of off, but in terms of eyeballs,
and it was a good playoffs, I think, for them to get more eyeballs on, because there was a lot. I mean, there was a lot of physical play and a lot of exciting games throughout the whole playoffs, not just in the final series.
Yeah, you're not wrong, and I'm not gonna lie. When I woke up and I saw the final score was 9-3, I thought I was just having a fever dream, and I saw some football score. But my God, 9-3 in the final game was insane. Frankie, we'll go with you, man. What did you think about this Vegas raising up Lord Stanley?
Man, it was honestly insane. It was crazy for the Golden Knights to just end it in 5 games. It's like basically a gentleman's sweep. Like Chris said, I mean, these guys honestly could have swept them if they really wanted to. I agree with what Chris said as well. I mean, these guys had depth. They were there. They were hungry. They wanted it. They were saying, this is our second time making it to the Stanley Cup. We blew it the first time. We're not going to blow it this time. And then they got it done. I mean, congratulations to the coach. He was literally the Boston Bruins head coach last year, and then going to Vegas and winning a Stanley Cup. He puts them in there with those coaches that got a championship ring now finally. Hats off to Florida. This is a team that beat my team in the first round. They win and they beat your team in the championship round.
Yep.
They did a lot. They did a lot impressive things this year, especially being a team that had one of the lowest points coming into the Stanley Cup playoffs. I had really high hopes for Florida. I really did. but I feel like all the tough challenges to get to where they were going to, it kind of tired them out too much. And with the goalkeeper, doing everything he can against all these great players and all these great teams, he just couldn't succeed really well against the Golden Knights. And congratulations to Vegas, man. They're Stanley Cup champions, first time ever in their franchise history within just 6 years of being in the NHL. So good job to them. Chris, I just want to ask you real quickly: is your dad? Because I remember I was watching your show yesterday, and I said something. Is he really a Golden Knights fan, or was he just picking them during the playoff run?
Because Columbus got kicked out.
No, he's been a Golden Knights
Is
fan since Vegas came about 6
So I'm
years
just
ago.
curious.
Okay.
So is there any relation, or just because he didn't have a team, he's like, screw it, I'm going with them?
He used to watch hockey like years and years ago, and he was a Blackhawks fan like when he was a kid.
Yeah.
And then he kind of got away from watching hockey. Well, then when Vegas came about, he watched some of their games, and he got back into hockey, and he's been watching their games for the last 6 years.
Okay. I will say that Vegas has a tremendous pregame. It is, oh god, the clips and stuff I've seen of that is so cool.
And that was part of it.
Yeah, I'm
That
about to
was
say
part
just
of it.
the atmosphere and everything.
He'll talk about that, how the first time he watched them and the pregame
fell in
and
love.
everything, it kind of hooked him in. And
It felt like wrestling,
he's been
honestly.
watching since.
It felt like the pageantry of a wrestling show, like a WrestleMania, to be honest with you. Billy said congrats to GSR Tony and on his hockey team win the NHL Cup. And then David said, Tony, you traitor. Oh, God. Yeah. All right, Jay, give us your thoughts on the series.
Yeah, first off, congrats to Tony and his Vegas Knights. Incredible run this season. First of all, I'll just kind of point out 6 of the players that were on this Stanley Cup team, 5 of them on the starting and 1 of them on the backup unit were there at the very beginning of the inception of the team. So 6 players were at the inception of all of this. 5 of them are starting, like I said, 1 of them on the backup. So congrats to that 6 that were able to make it from the inception to the Stanley Cup. That is an amazing thing to accomplish. Hats off to Florida. We all know how great Florida played, and unfortunately, they just came up, short.
Yep.
But at the end of this Vegas team, especially, and I knew when I saw them play Dallas, the way they played Dallas, I just said, okay, I learned 2 things about that team before they even played the Panthers. Number 1 is that they play a hell of a good defense. Mm-hmm. And number 2, they're ultra aggressive on offense. And when you have a good defensive team and ultra aggressive offensive team, the Dallas Stars couldn't hang with them. Florida couldn't hang with them. No Toronto team or Canadian team. This team was just ready. Then they wanted it, and they had a coach that gave them a good game plan. And I knew from that Dallas series, Logan. And again, I don't want to take anything from Florida because we also saw, and we were all talking about how good Florida was and how killer instincts they had. But this Vegas team,
different level.
Oh man, bro! And I didn't really. And again, this is my first kind of full year really getting into hockey. I know Frankie,
really, yeah.
Kind of this year and a half. Logan, same with you. So to see this the first full year in, I mean, it's just
right. It really has. It's been, yeah, and also just talking about the series. Glad to see the Marshall show got the MVP, the Conn Smythe, for winning it there. And like you said, he was one of those core 6 members, Jay, that was there in the beginning that fell back when they first went there back in 2018, and now kind of coming full circle, getting his trophy, both Stanley Cup and the MVP award. Fun to see. And God, I know Jack Eichel is a happy man after all the stuff he had to go through in Buffalo to now going over to Vegas and getting him a championship.
And March's show was actually a Florida Panther, and they were one of the players they didn't protect when they had the expansion draft, and Vegas drafted him from Florida. So it was probably even a little more sweet for him that the championship came against Florida. And then another thing about hockey, because I've watched it more this year than I have. I think a lot of people overlook how tough these guys are and how many injuries and stuff they actually play through. I mean, like even that Kachuk for Florida, they had to pick him up and basically put his pads on him and pick him up and put him on his feet just for him to play in that last game that he played in. I know he didn't play in the last game because of it was so bad, but I think that gets overlooked
Just-
is how tough these guys really are and how demanding the sport of hockey can be.
Well said, Chris. And I got one clip to show for you. I know you're going to like it. Frankie, I know you're going to love it. Oh, there we go. Got to get some. Oh, CJ, you go away for a month and you get all these fun surprises.
Hey, listen, I'm down with it. I love all this stuff, man. It's really amazing. And you got to imagine if you are a Florida Panthers, like, God, we let go of Marchessault. The dude just went and got the Conn Smythe Award in the finals, and this is the guy we could have kept. Like, you got to imagine, somewhere in management with the Florida Panthers, I think they could have taken that back. They may have let somebody else be unprotected because he's just. I watched him. Like I said, I saw him against Dallas. And he was amazing then, and he's amazing now. Chris, you're absolutely correct. I mean, these guys are probably one of the toughest people I know. Pavlicek, I say his name. I hope I'm saying it right. For the Dallas Stars, during the Wild series, he took that hard hit with the head on the ice, took him into concussion. I don't think we even saw him the rest of the season. We didn't really see him until he came back against the Kraken, and of course, then he balled out against the Kraken. But these guys are incredible, man. Number one, they even know how to skate, period, and then do what they do. Bro,
I can't even skate in a straight line, let alone skate at the speeds they do that. Plus, you got gear. Plus, you got you're holding a stick with trying to dangle a puck. I'm like, hey, it's impressive. Glenn Richardson coming in saying, "Wow, what a time to be alive." Jay is back. Yes, he is. Glenn,
he is
commenting.
Where is he? Where's Jay? Where's Jay at? This ain't Jay.
It's like where's Waldo? I'll tell you.
He's in Houston now. This is Jamal.
God. Get out of here with that, Frankie. Get out of here.
Oh, man. I miss Jamal. Every now and then I got to break some Jamal out.
Before we go on to this topic, I want to give my condolences to one of our boy, Robert Strite.
Yes.
He's dealing with a terrible time right now.
If you
guys know Robert Strite, he is a Florida everything fan. He's a
Dolphins.
He's a Heat. He's a Panther, and the man is dealing through trouble right now. If we can just go on and the GoFundMe page at Unscripted and just donate some money to our boy Robert Strite. He's dealing with a hard time. Both his teams lost in the championship game in 5 games, back-to-back days. I'm really sorry, Rob. You can't win them all. And let's not forget, he also had the NCAA March Madness team of the Miami Hurricanes.
Hey, Frank, you're wrong. Frankie said you can't win them all. Frankie, he can't even win one.
Hey, we got to throw him up here, fellas. We got to throw it up here. Got to throw the prayers out there.
Prayers for Big Shot Rob.
Hey,
you had a 50-50 shot, my boy.
Hey,
you
he's
had a
going
50-50
through it, man.
shot.
Hey, we love you, Rob, though, but we know. Hey, he's lucky that he's not on the show because we would be grilling him. Oh, like it's the 4th of July.
Hey, one last thing before we head into this next topic, I just want to say,
Glenn with the off the top rope.
I can't help a hungry and disappointment. That's messed up. That's messed up. But true. No, I thought it was interesting. The one thing I did want to point out real quick before we move on is in that last game that they won 9-3, each team only had one power play. One.
Yeah, good point.
How crazy? What crazy is that?
And you know what's funny? You know what's funny about that is Vegas power play is terrible.
Yeah. We looked at the stats going into it.
They went into this with a terrible power play, and every single game where they had a power play, they looked phenomenal. And Florida looked terrible. It was insane. It was just insane. It's like they turned it around. The coach looked at them and said, "Yo, we're in the Stanley Cup. When we get power plays, we score the damn shit."
And then Mark Stone had the first hat trick in the Stanley Cup final since like 1922 or something like that.
That's crazy.
I'm about to say, I mean, game of your life, right?
What's a hat trick?
Come on,
I'm still learning.
That's where you get 3 goals in the game.
And then typically they throw hats on the ice.
Oh, okay, damn.
It's like I think.
He came back from back surgery. He missed a lot of time last year, and I think maybe even some of the beginning of this season from coming back from back surgery.
Damien said, "Wait, Jay was gone. No wonder it was so peaceful on YouTube for that month."
Hey,
oh God,
it happens. It happens.
I'd say, Damien, you had your month off. We didn't grill you too bad, but now that Jay's back, all we'll say is good luck. All right, fellas, going back to the basketball court here. Like I mentioned to Jay, best part of the basketball is coming off the NBA free agency. My God, we have so many free agents to look at. Today, we take a look at Bradley Beal. Wizards potentially looking to trade him. So, a bit of a two-part question. One, do they trade him? And two, if they do, where does he land? Jay, we'll start with you off the top.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't think I would ever see a day where Bradley Beal would get traded. And he's like cemented as part of that team, just like Damian Dollar is cemented over there in Portland. I mean, these are just guys I never thought that they would even think about doing, but I get why they're doing it. He still has value. They're not sure if they want to blow this team up or not. And if you are going to blow it up, what's the point of carrying his 250 $1 million 5-year deal? So yeah, to get some cap off their space or off their books, I mean, it makes sense. I think this team is ready for a rebuild. I just think they've been stagnant with what they've been doing for so long that, I mean, sometimes it's just good to go back to square one, try to get some draft picks, go back to square one and start this process over again. And for Bradley Beal, the guy's got 11 years in. He's still shooting incredibly well at 23 points, at 51% shooting, career 22-point guy. I mean, I think Miami, well, I know we talked about this earlier, Miami needs another superstar to kind of pair up. And what better would to pair up Bradley Beal maybe than with Jimmy Butler?
So that would then move Hero to either move him to, I guess, a small forward? Well, no, you could run Beal maybe at point guard because Miami doesn't have a point guard.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad. Okay, not a bad suggestion.
Trust me, Spoelstra will figure that one out.
No, yeah, you're not kidding, man. Chris, what do you think? Do you think the Wizards end up trading him since they've been kind of, I'd say in shambles, really kind of since John Wall left? Or do you think that they'll stick with him, or is he going to go somewhere new?
I don't think they're going to trade him just because I think it's going to be hard to trade him because of the contract. He just signed that big 5-year extension last year. Yeah. And he also has a no trade clause in his contract as well. So wherever he does get traded to, he'd have to agree to.
Yep.
But if he does, I think maybe the Knicks could be a good spot for him.
That's true.
Oh, okay. Going to New York, pair him with Jalen Brunson. Okay. Frankie, what about you, my friend? Where is he headed to if he does go?
Yeah, like Chris said, the man, he has a no trade clause policy. He's actually the only active player right now in the NBA with that on his contract. So I do think, if I'm Bradley Beal, man, you're not winning with this team. You did everything you can before. Then, news came out that you were going to re-sign or you were going to sign somewhere else. Yep. Ended up shocking the world and re-signing and staying with Washington. And yet you still have, done anything. If I'm Bradley Beal, I'm gonna accept that and try and get traded. Take the money, get traded, go somewhere else, see where if you can develop another team, or at least try and fight yourself to get a championship ring, or at least even get to the playoffs. I don't remember the last time Washington Wizards were in the playoffs. So
kind of a little bit, not super long, but
you gotta do something, man. You gotta do something with your career. And if I'm Bradley Beal. I'm not going to, you guys could shoot me in the foot for this. I'll go to the 76ers.
That's what Damian said.
You're getting a new head coach. You're getting a new head coach. You don't have to deal with Doc Rivers. You got Joel Embiid. You got James Harden, who's not going to be back there. So you got an open spot over there in the Philly. I mean, I feel like him and Joel
can be pretty solid.
Well. It will be a solid 1-2 combination over there in Philly with a new head coach. I think they'll do pretty well there. But I also like what Chris said. I like the Miami thing, Jay. I really do. But after what I've seen in Jimmy Butler in the finals, a lot has changed in my mind. A lot has changed in my mind, not only with Miami, but with Jimmy Butler as well. A lot has changed in my mind with that dude. But I do like the New York Knicks and pairing with Jalen Brunson. That's a R.J. Barrett, Jalen Brunson, Bradley Beal.
That's a good trio. Plus, Randall when he's on, which is
get rid of Jimmy. No, you got to get rid of that
man. Hey, you trade him, Frankie, for a half-eaten bag of Doritos? Is he going on that dollar menu?
I would trade him for the Chinese woman down the street that's able to go ahead and just dry clean my clothes for free. That's what.
By the way, we support all Oriental women.
Yep. Oh man. All right, so Damian offers a different perspective here. He said, I think the Wizards should get rid of Kuzma, not Beal. Plus, I don't see Beal leaving Washington because if he was, he would have left a long time ago. Hey man, trade
Well,
trade
Bill-
Kuzma with those outfits. Trade both of them.
Well, and Bill had told the Wizards that if they're going to basically decide to do a complete rebuild instead of trying to
I
just
don't
add
want
some
it.
pieces that he wanted to be traded. So I think
Yeah.
he's gotten to that point, Damian, where it's like, hey, if you guys aren't going to try and build a team around me and you're going to start
Get me out of
completely over, let me go
Yeah.
somewhere else.
I just want to say that's the first time I have ever seen Damian put a very lucid, well
Yes.
thought out comment.
in
And I didn't have to try to manipulate what the word was. That was amazing.
Not
CJ,
really.
He just need a little bit of time off.
No,
See, I
not
mean,
really.
You got
It-
you know what, Jay? That's going in top 5 Damian quotes here.
Hey, that's top 5 right there,
Top
man.
5,
That's
yeah.
vintage.
No, you guys got it. No, it's
No?
just no,
All right.
because you could say the same thing about Damian Lillard. If he wanted out of Portland, he would have been gone a long
Oh,
time
no, I'm
ago.
not talking about what he
These
said.
guys-
I'm just saying the fact that it was an actual sentence that had a noun, a subject, and a verb, and it was all spelled correctly. I'm not talking about the actual content.
So one more thing here. It's kind of on topic, kind of a little bit off. I sent you guys in our group chat Kendrick Perkins off-season predictions. I want to get y'all's perspective on this. So he did say Bradley Beal, but going to the Celtics, pairing him with, I guess, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I would think you trade one of them.
Yeah,
Trade Marcus Smart.
and the money
Marcus
too.
Smart, yeah, but the money. Oh my God, they're not going to have any money. So some other ones he's got. Fred VanVleet going to the 76ers, which I think that would be a good fit. I think that would be a pretty solid fit there.
I think Van Fleet's going to end up with the Lakers.
Yeah, good job, Chris.
So
Love
he's got Brooke Lopez re-signing with the Bucks. I think that could very well happen. He's had really good success there. Frankie, I know you're gonna hate this one. I sent to you earlier. James Harden to the Lakers. Ain't no way. Ain't no way, bro. This is just gonna be Russell Westbrook Part 2, I think, if that happens.
That'd be a little bit better than Russell.
Ain't gonna be much, probably. I don't know.
But ain't much.
Frankie,
If James Harden comes to the Lakers, it's just until the trade deadline to get something big
Hey.
out of him.
and then kind of a shocker. I didn't really see this one coming. He got Draymond Green going to the Suns.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's insane.
That is a
Hold
Why
on.
would
Hold on.
Draymond
Draymond want to be teamed up
hold
with
on.
KD again?
Kendrick Perkins. You get one of these, brother. Just one question. Why? Why?
Because this is the same man that said that the MVP is favored by white people, by white players.
Draymond Green to the Suns is one of the wildest takes I've seen in a minute. Why would he?
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Come on. I think he's staying Golden State for life. Come on, because also, like you said, why would he want to be with Durant?
Not even
How
that.
many times they fought each other?
Why would Phoenix want Draymond Green? What's he going to add to help that team? Yeah, he can play defense, but
That's it.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, what's he gonna do for them that Ayton's not already doing? I mean, like, I don't think he's an upgrade.
Like we said, whenever the Suns got eliminated, Phoenix doesn't need starters. Phoenix needs a bench. Draymond ain't going on the bench. Come on. All right, let's keep moving. Final topic here for the night. Frankie, I already know your answer to this one, so we'll start with you. DeAndre Hopkins. Obviously, you're going to have him landing in New England. He has visited there. We did see a photo that you sent us a little bit earlier. So, do you think he lands in New England? Are you 100% confident in that, or do you have maybe another team who could sneak up and steal him?
I honestly, I 100% feel that DeAndre Hopkins is going to sign with the New England Patriots. And I've been saying this literally since last year, and then the off season came, and I said, by the NFL draft, the New England Patriots would do some type of trade package to go ahead and get DeAndre Hopkins, and that didn't work in my favor. But then the great NFL God did something even better, and they had the Arizona Cardinals released him. So now we don't have to, pay this man money. I did read a couple things, and I'm glad that you guys let me go first. Real quickly, DeAndre Hopkins did leave the New England area. He's staying local. Around New England. No deal has been made as of yet, but both sides did what they were agreeing to and everything like that. DeAndre Hopkins just wants some time. He still wants to see what he can get from other teams. Probably do some other visits, but realistically, there's not much visits for DeAndre Hopkins left. I mean, yeah, he can go to Buffalo. Buffalo's still out there wanting him. Probably Baltimore maybe, but a lot of other teams have canceled out their visits for DeAndre Hopkins. They don't want him. They feel like he'll be asking for too much money, but he's not asking for too much money. He's really not. The one thing that he asked from Bill Belichick and the Patriots before leaving was not a veteran's money contract, but a veteran's day off type of thing, which is, if none of you guys know that are watching, I know my boys on here know it. For those of you who don't know that are watching, a veteran's day off meaning is like he's not hurt, he's not going on the IL, he's not doing any of that. He just wants a day off to relax. The man don't want to practice on certain days. He probably don't want to play a certain game, which is totally fine. He's earned it, the age that he's at. And if I'm Bill Belichick with the injuries that he's had in the past, I will grant it to him and I will give it to him, especially if you look at it. If he has that one day off, that's totally fine. You still got Juju Smith-Schuster. You got Mike Gesicki now. You got DeAndre Parker, Taquan Thornton. You got all these great pieces around him. You need that number one dude. And if you get DeAndre Hopkins to be your number one dude, this is going to be an absolute battle in the AFC East. And I do agree. I do feel that the man is going to sign with the New England Patriots. I just think that he's waiting and he's giving it some time to just just relax from it. There's no need for him to rush. Ian Rappaport did say that he will probably guarantee to sign a contract before training starts.
Yeah, which I believe training camp begins in late July. So he's still got a little bit of time left, but we'll see. Going back to the basketball topic, Damian said, Jay, he's on a roll today. I see Van Fleet coming to Chicago because, one, this is his hometown. He's from Illinois. And, two, why not reunite DeMar with Van Fleet? He did mess up on the end, but I think we might give him that, right?
I bet you 6 years ago, Damian said AD was going to go to Chicago because he's from Chicago.
That's not. He also said, and this is accurate. I did look it up. D-Hop's good. He said, okay, part of this is right. Let me clarify. He said D-Hop going to the Titans. They just offered him a contract. It was rumored they did offer him a contract. We don't know what it is.
But it didn't just happen.
No, yeah, I'd say it happened whenever he visited Tennessee not too long ago. Anthony Price saying Hopkins not caring about a ring, he wants the money.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. When you get to an age limit like DeAndre Hopkins, your mindset is not focused on getting a ring anymore.
Let's not forget he ain't young. He's not young anymore. He's a little bit older. He's what is he? Oh, he's 31.
He's 31.
Is he 31? I thought he was 30, but okay, I'll give you 31.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I'm not saying he's ancient by any means necessary. Let's not get it twisted. But typically, once guys hit their 30s, they start going downhill a little bit. And we've seen with him in recent years with injuries, it's kind of caught up to him. Him and Michael Thomas. I mean, that dude was on one of the best receivers, 4 years ago? And now he's just now coming back, it feels like. So Jay, we'll talk about this. Where does he land? He's going to go to Tennessee? He's going to go to New England? Or maybe somewhere else? What do you got?
Yeah, I think, the Browns have mentioned it. I know Watson has come out and publicly said that he would like to reunite with him again and play. So I think the Browns could be still in contention because of that one there. Tennessee, clearly because Vrabel was the offensive coordinator or at least something on the offensive side with the Texans. So he does have a relationship with him.
Okay.
Patriots, obviously. I don't think there's any bad blood anymore between O'Brien and him anymore. So I think they got past that hurdle. So the Patriots obviously are there. Bills have been rumored to be there. Jerry Jones said basically the Cowboys thought about it, but now they're out. And I don't see the Cowboys taking a flyer on him. So I think the most likely spots would be Patriots, Browns, and Tennessee. I would say that those three teams are probably the most likely for him. But again, he is, like you said, 31. His lackluster last few seasons, whether it be the injury or suspension, really causes for me a lot of concern. He's not, that mega superstar anymore. He has taken a slight downwardly slope on that a little bit, but he can still be a quality target. And that's why I think a lot of people are hoping for that they can give him that he could be that quality target still. So I think he's going to want a payday. As far as the Patriots are concerned, will Bill Belichick give him the payday? I don't know. It depends on how much of a payday he's looking for. But again,
Right now,
I will say this. But again, hey, Frankie, I know you want this guy, but understand the D-Hop you're getting isn't the D-Hop that he's known for in Texas.
Oh,
He's not that. He's not that.
You were doing so good. He's got D-Hop to the Texans. That ain't
Jay,
working.
this is a
I got
man
the money,
who
but I don't see
literally.
it.
This is a man who literally last year had, and I said this to many people, he was suspended for 6 games, still came out with like 7 games left in the season, or maybe even less than that, and still got over 1,000 receiving yards.
No, that's
You're
a good point.
crazy.
That's a good point.
You're crazy to sit there and say that.
I'm not crazy. And you know what, though? Sometimes you just got to let a man find out for himself. So, Frankie, I hope you do give him the bag. I hope he does go there. And when he hurts his pinky toe,
when he hurts
don't
his
come
pinky
crying
toe,
to me.
he's not CeeDee Lamb, all right? He won't be crying.
When he stubs his toe on the door frame.
But
Jay will know.
for him to get the bag, I think every team knows right now that they don't need to go all in and go all expensive, because he is getting about 20 to 23 million from Arizona itself this year.
Oh my God, that's insane.
So it is insane. So I think what and I read about it, Bill Belichick and the Patriots are probably going to offer him a $10 million contract with some incentives to near up around $2 to $3 million. We have about 14. We have about 14 million, or a little bit over 14 million in cap space. Yeah, we could definitely make it work.
Yep.
It's the following year that we're gonna have to,
figure it out. So Anthony Price brings up an interesting topic here, interesting discussion. He says if Hopkins was smart, he would take less money and go to Kansas City. Mike, that could be disgusting. That could be a good combo, but I don't know about that one though. We'll see. I haven't heard Kansas City in any of these talks, but I mean, we've seen teams before in any sport who they're not linked, and then all of a sudden they sign there. He's also got Hopkins going to your rivals, Frankie, the Miami Dolphins.
That's oh my God! This is just.
I think
Miami's backfield is a little too crowded to bring him in.
So, they have too much, Jay. They have too much, Jay, for him to even throw Miami in there.
Yeah, I know.
He's already in a crowded wide receiver room.
Just the fact that he was able to make a qualified sentence, though, I'm just giving him props right now.
I can see AP's on what he's saying with Kansas City. Honestly,
that's not a bad idea.
That will honestly piss me off a little bit. Not just because he's signing with Kansas City. It will piss me off because it just shows that they're gonna win. They're gonna win. No doubt about it. If they get D-Hop, they're winning the entire thing.
And then Damien comes back. He says, so the question is, why would you give Hopkins all that money he wants when we know he is injury prone?
I mean, he's not lying.
When was the last time he was injured? 2 years ago?
I can look it up. He was suspended last year. Let's not get switched. He wasn't injured.
If you guys are thinking that he was injured last year, you guys are just honestly.
No, I'm not saying he was injured last year. I'm saying he was suspended. It's before that. Yes. I'm saying that he was injured.
All right. But let me ask you this. And
okay, so I found it here. And this is according to DraftSharks.com. Last time he was injured was in December 29, 2022, with a knee strain, grade 1. He missed 2 weeks of action. And let's not forget, in 2021, the end of the year, he suffered a torn MCL, but I mean, that was 2 years ago.
So he basically hurt himself at the end of the season.
Yes, both those injuries came in December.
Do you guys know what injury prone is? Injury prone is like OBJ.
No, I get it. I get it. But I would say this. I would say because of his age and the fact that the age, and he strained a ligament and torn a ligament. Those are not small things. And I'm saying that those can lead as you get older down the road to becoming injury prone.
And Anthony, you're not wrong. OBJ did get that back.
Exactly. Thank you, AP.
So,
he'll get
he's getting the bag. He is getting it. It's just that I know.
Yeah, Hopkins is going to get paid.
Some people are skeptical, but we'll see. We'll see where he lands. And, of course, we'll cover it right here on the show. All right, gentlemen, we made it to our final topic, our final thoughts for tonight. Frankie, we'll start with you. Final thoughts, my friend.
Oh, man, it was good to be back, for the half hour that I was in here for, maybe even 40 minutes. I'm glad to see Jay's face back here on Unscripted. I'm glad that he's safe and sound in his hometown of Houston. He's back home surrounded by his loving his loving civilians over there. He feels safe because he's no longer in that Georgia area.
Hey.
Logan was able to get his ass out of there and kick him out of his state. So now we're all.
Hey, this
so now
state
we're
ain't
all,
big enough for the two of us.
So now
No.
we're all back. We're all back to being in our own states
That's true.
once again. So I'm glad that Jay is safe. I'm glad he's back. Yankees aren't looking so good. We got Red Sox this weekend starting tomorrow. Yeah, man. I don't really not too much on final thoughts on any sports but baseball. Everything else is done.
Yeah, I'm about to say we're gonna have to be scratching for some content here, fellas. Now that we're in the kind of the dark ages
We're
of sports.
gonna have to talk about some tennis and some golf.
We're gonna have tennis, NASCAR, WNBA,
some wicked tuna.
I'm about to say maybe get some pickleball in there.
Hey, don't forget though. Hey, we still got the draft coming up at the end of the month.
We do. Oh, we got a little bit longer.
We got some drafts we can get into.
One more thing here from Damien. He said OBJ got the back of the Ravens were desperate trying to get Lamar to stay. That's why he got that bag.
No.
Well, Damien, you started off on a high, on the highest we can put you at, and then it just kind of went low. But we appreciate you chiming in as always. Chris, final thoughts on the show. You got anything coming up this weekend? Any wrestling shows?
Yeah, I do have a wrestling show Saturday
Right.
at a big Juneteenth festival here in town.
All right.
But one thing real quick about Hopkins, I just wanted to point out, because like Jay was saying about injuries and stuff and his age. Thing with Hopkins, I think makes him a little bit different than some of your other receivers is Hopkins has never been a guy that relied on speed and getting open. He's just been a guy that can catch the ball no matter if he's
Reliably.
covered or not.
That's true.
And with any kind of caliber quarterback. So I don't think age matters as much with him just because his style of play. He don't rely on the speed to get open. He relies on just being able to find the ball when it's thrown to him.
Hold on.
Let him know, Chris. Let him know. That's Chris.
Hey,
Gonzalez right there.
Hey, listen. All I know is when that man winds up on the injury list, I'm gonna say, Frankie, how your boy doing?
Oh man, Jay, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Oh no, that was a good final.
That was
thought.
your final thought. Oh man,
no, man. Hey, it's good to be back with you guys, man. Appreciate everybody. Chris, man, it's good to see your friendly face. Logan, Frankie, man, Billy Buzz. Yeah, we're gonna talk some NASCAR.
Yeah, we
wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't throw some NASCAR in there.
I was about to say we're not just covering the major sports. We gotta cover them all. That's what we're here for.
NASCAR, bro. They're screwing Bubba Wallace.
Hey, and final thoughts for me. We'll talk about this on Saturday or either next Tuesday. Breaking news here: Governor Joe Lombardo has signed Senate Bill 1, which is the Oakland A's Las Vegas Stadium funding bill, into a law. The next step now is relocation approval from Major League Baseball. Talk more about that at our next show.
Sell that team.
I will say that reverse boycott they had the other night was pretty cool. I will say it was nice seeing the fans all there and happy. They got the win too. Hey, let's not be real here. The A's, one of the hottest teams in baseball. They won, like 7 in a row? I know they lost the other night. And Chris, we got to give you props, man. What have the Reds been up to? They've been on fire this year, man.
What's that dude, De La Cruz or De La whatever his name is? That dude's looking pretty good.
Man, that dude is a just stick.
Reds have the second best road record in baseball since April 8th.
There we go.
You see, Chris, you see what happens to your team when you guys get swept by the Yankees? You start winning.
You come out better.
You start winning. You learn.
And the crazy thing about our road record being 16-8 since April 8th and being the second best, we started out 1-9 on the road to start the season.
Oh, snap.
Oh, look at Chris.
They've really turned that around. And the Reds have 14 guys on the IL right now, and that's the most in Major League Baseball.
And they're still rolling. Yeah. My God. Chris, great job tonight, everyone. Chris, Frankie, Jay, it's been a pleasure. Of course, check us out Tuesday, Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Saturdays, 1 o'clock. You can check us out on all of our social media platforms, Facebook at Unscripted, Twitter, Unscripted Guys, along with Unscripted Sports on TikTok, YouTube, and now on Twitch. Once again, we appreciate all the support, comments we've gotten tonight from Damien, from Billy, Anthony Price, and Glenn Richardson, also along with anyone else who has commented. It's been a great time tonight. It's been great having Jay back in the saddle talking to sports. Until next time, have a great night, everyone, and we'll talk to you on another live episode.